Every single day, millions of cat owners around the world do something they believe is completely safe. They open a can, pour some food into a bowl, place it in front of their beloved cat, and walk away feeling like a responsible, caring pet parent. They think they are doing everything right. They buy the same brand every week, follow the same routine, and never question whether what their cat is eating every single day could secretly be causing damage deep inside their little body. But here is the truth that most veterinarians wish more cat owners understood. Some of the most commonly fed foods, the ones sitting right now in your kitchen or pantry, are slowly and silently harming your cat in ways you cannot see with your naked eye. The damage does not happen overnight. It does not show up in a single meal. It builds up day after day, week after week, until one morning your cat stops eating, starts hiding, or collapses. And by that point, the internal damage is already very serious. I am Dr. Pet Gilbert, and on this channel, I am dedicated to giving you the honest, science-backed truth about your cat's health that no one else is telling you. Today's video is one of the most important ones I have ever made, because what I am about to share with you could literally add years to your cat's life. Or, if you ignore it, it could cut those years short. So please stay with me until the very end of this video, because the last food I reveal is the one that shocks almost every cat owner, including the ones who consider themselves experts. If you care about your cat, you cannot afford to miss this. Before we get into the specific foods, I want you to understand something very important about a cat's biology. Because once you understand this, everything else in this video will make complete sense. Cats are what scientists call obligate carnivores. This is not just a fancy term. It means that a cat's entire digestive system, internal organs, metabolism, and nutritional requirements have evolved over thousands of years to run almost entirely on animal-based protein. Unlike dogs, who are omnivores and can process a wider variety of foods, a cat's liver, kidneys, and digestive tract are simply not designed to handle many of the ingredients we casually feed them. Their bodies lack certain enzymes that humans and dogs use to process plant-based sugars, artificial additives, and specific compounds found in human food. So when a cat eats something it was not biologically built to process, even in small amounts, the body struggles. It works overtime trying to filter out toxins. The kidneys get stressed. The liver becomes overloaded, and because cats are masters at hiding pain and discomfort, they will go on appearing completely normal on the outside, while their internal organs are quietly deteriorating. This is why so many cat owners are completely blindsided when their vet delivers devastating news about kidney failure, liver disease, or heart problems. Conditions that did not develop in one day but grew slowly over months or even years of feeding the wrong things. The most heartbreaking part is that most of these owners were not being careless. They were trying their best. They simply did not have the right information. That is exactly why this video exists, to give you that information today, clearly and honestly, so you can make better choices starting from this very moment. The first food on our list is one that surprises almost everyone, and that food is tuna. Now, before you close this video thinking I am being dramatic, let me explain exactly what happens inside your cat's body when tuna becomes a daily habit. Tuna is not poisonous to cats in the way that some other foods are. A small amount occasionally is generally not harmful. But here is the problem. Tuna is incredibly addictive to cats. The smell, the flavor, and the texture trigger a powerful response in a cat's brain, and once they develop a taste for it, many cats will flat out refuse to eat anything else. This is called tuna addiction, and it is far more common than most people realize. But the addiction itself is not even the biggest danger. The real problem is what happens when a cat eats tuna every single day over a long period of time. Tuna, especially canned tuna made for human consumption, is extremely high in mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal that accumulates in the body over time. It does not flush out easily, and when it builds up in a cat's nervous system, it causes a condition called yellow fat disease, also known as steatitis, which is a painful inflammatory condition affecting the fat tissue throughout the body. Daily tuna consumption also creates a serious deficiency of vitamin E in cats, which leads to severe inflammation, muscle weakness, and intense pain when the cat is touched or moved. On top of all of this, human-grade canned tuna contains high levels of sodium and preservatives that put enormous strain on a cat's kidneys, the same kidneys that are already among the most vulnerable organs in a cat's body. So if tuna is currently a daily staple in your cat's diet, it is time to make a change. The second food on our list is one that has been romanticized in cartoons, movies, and popular culture for generations, and that is milk and dairy products. Almost every person on this planet grew up with the image of a happy little kitten lapping up a saucer of fresh, warm milk. And because of that image, many cat owners genuinely believe that milk is a natural and healthy treat for their cats. The reality, however, is very different, and understanding the science behind it will completely change the way you think about dairy and cats forever. Here is what actually happens inside your cat's body when it drinks milk. Most adult cats are lactose intolerant. This means their bodies do not produce enough of an enzyme called lactase, which is the enzyme responsible for breaking down lactose, the natural sugar found in milk and all dairy products. Kittens produce lactase because they need it to digest their mother's milk. But as cats grow into adulthood, their bodies naturally reduce and eventually stop producing this enzyme. So when an adult cat drinks cow's milk or eats cheese, yogurt, or cream on a regular basis, the undigested lactose travels into the large intestine, where it begins to ferment. This fermentation process causes gas, bloating, stomach cramps, and almost always leads to diarrhea. If your cat is eating dairy every day, their digestive system is under constant stress. Over time, chronic digestive inflammation can damage the lining of the intestines, reduce nutrient absorption, and lead to weight loss and nutritional deficiencies. The worst part is that many owners see their cat eagerly running toward a bowl of milk and assume that, because the cat wants it, it must be good for them. But just like a child who wants candy for every meal, wanting something and being able to handle it safely are two very different things. The third food situation we need to talk about is one of the most controversial topics in the entire cat health community. And that is feeding your cat an exclusively dry kibble diet every single day. Now, I want to be very careful here, because I am not saying all dry food is bad. I am saying that feeding nothing but dry food day after day with no wet food or moisture supplementation creates a serious and chronic health problem that is directly linked to one of the leading causes of death in domestic cats, kidney disease. Here's the core issue. Cats evolved in desert environments. Their wild ancestors got the vast majority of their daily water intake not from drinking, but from the moisture content of the prey they hunted and ate. A mouse, for example, is approximately 70% water. Because of this evolutionary history, cats have a naturally low thirst drive compared to other animals. They simply do not feel the urge to drink water the same way dogs or humans do. When you feed a cat dry kibble exclusively, you are giving them food that contains only about 10% moisture, compared to the 70 to 80% moisture found in quality wet food. Because their thirst drive is low, most cats on a dry-only diet walk around in a constant state of mild to moderate dehydration, day after day, without their owners ever realizing it. This chronic dehydration puts enormous and continuous strain on the kidneys, forcing them to work much harder to concentrate urine and filter waste from the blood. Over months and years, this sustained stress causes the kidney tissue to gradually break down. A condition called chronic kidney disease, or CKD, which is irreversible, progressive, and sadly extremely common in middle-aged and senior cats. Now that you know which foods are causing the most damage, it is absolutely critical that you also know how to recognize the warning signs that your cat's body is already being affected. Because the earlier you catch these signs, the better the chances of reversing the damage, or at least stopping it from getting worse. The first warning sign to watch for is a sudden or gradual change in your cat's drinking habits. If you notice your cat drinking significantly more water than usual, this is one of the earliest indicators that the kidneys are under stress and struggling to maintain proper fluid balance. Do not ignore this sign. The second warning sign is changes in litter box behavior, specifically urinating much more frequently, urinating outside the litter box, or producing very small amounts of urine despite frequent attempts. Both increased urination and difficulty urinating can signal serious kidney or urinary tract problems. Third, watch for vomiting that happens more than once or twice a week. Occasional vomiting in cats can be normal, especially with hairballs, but frequent vomiting after meals is a red flag that something is wrong with digestion or organ function. Fourth, pay close attention to your cat's coat and skin condition. A dull, dry, or thinning coat, especially when it used to be shiny and full, is often one of the first outward signs of nutritional deficiency or internal illness. Fifth, watch for weight loss, reduced appetite, increased hiding, or unusual lethargy. Cats instinctively hide when they are not feeling well, so if your usually social or active cat is suddenly spending hours alone in dark corners, something is wrong. Any combination of these signs, especially if they persist for more than a few days, should be taken seriously and addressed with a qualified veterinarian as soon as possible. So now the question is, what should you actually be feeding your cat every day to keep them healthy, protect their kidneys, and give them the longest and happiest life possible? The answer is simpler than most people expect. Start by replacing at least one dry kibble meal per day with a high-quality wet food that lists a real animal protein, chicken, turkey, salmon, or beef, as the very first ingredient on the label. This single change alone will dramatically increase your cat's daily moisture intake and take enormous pressure off their kidneys. Second, if you have been giving tuna regularly, begin transitioning away from it slowly by mixing it with a proper cat food and reducing the amount week by week until your cat is fully off it. Going cold turkey too fast can cause a cat to stop eating altogether, so gradual transition is the smart approach. Third, eliminate dairy completely from your cat's diet. There is no nutritional benefit for cats in milk or cheese that cannot be better provided through proper cat food, and the digestive damage it causes is simply not worth it. Fourth, make sure fresh, clean water is always available in multiple locations around your home, and consider investing in a pet water fountain, since many cats are more attracted to moving water and will drink significantly more when a fountain is present. Finally, and this is the most important thing I can tell you, schedule a wellness checkup with your vet at least once a year, even if your cat seems perfectly healthy. Most serious conditions, including kidney disease and liver problems, are caught far too late because owners wait for visible symptoms before seeking help. Early detection saves lives. Your cat cannot tell you when something is wrong, but you can learn to see the signs. Subscribe to Dr. Pet Gilbert for weekly tips that will help you do exactly that. Like this video if it helped. Subscribe for weekly pet health tips. Comment below, what does your cat eat every day?